Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your 2023 Jayflight 264 BH travel trailer. I'm here to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a few things to take into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, there's be plenty of room for that awning. On your off campsite, no slide to worry about, so what I want you to do is think about where your water and power connections are going to be. Your power, you can plug in just above your back tire on your off campsite or your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Then your city water connection will be just above that as well. So both on your tire side, park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive and unhook our hitch, first thing we'll do is level our unit. Now with your unit, your door is about in the middle of the unit. Open that up, stick a level in there. Come on over here, night docking light should you arrive at night. And simply retract to lower, extend to raise. Now should you lose power, your hand crank for your stabilizing jacks underneath this rubber stopper. You can put that on there and get this up and down should you not have power. Speaking of power, check your batteries now and then. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose on those. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. Now Jayco this year come out with these new drop-down stabilizing jacks. You're going to start by unhooking your jack right here on the end here. Oops, sorry. That hooks right on there. Now, take your hand crank or drill gun or impact driver. Crank it down just a couple, just so you can get in there and pull on this ring. And that ring will release this. Go down a little bit further. Or you can just come down a couple cranks, but lift up on this ring and that's going to loosen that up. Drop it all the way down. Flatten out your foot. So you're just about down all the way, and then go ahead and use your crank to run it the rest of the way down. Now I am going to recommend jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt, debris, and hot blacktop in the summer. It's going to better distribute the weight. You don't want to run these down until they're taut. Once you have some resistance on your hand crank stop, remember our unit's already level, we're just going to stabilize it. Alright, got our unit level and stable, time to hook up our power and water. Power cord plugs in here on the side. Simply put it in at about 11 o'clock and give it a right twist, and then put your washer on. Now at the end of that 30-foot 30-amp cord, you can, if you need to plug into a 110, in your convenience pack will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer. Got your power hooked up, let's hook up your water. At campsites, you're going to hook up two city water connections. First and foremost, a water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator comes in your convenience pack, will reduce the water pressure 40 to 50 psi. Protect the lines in your unit. Always use this when putting water in your unit because you don't know what the water pressure is. Hook up your hose, water pressure regulator. Go ahead and turn that hose on. Now if the hose has been on for a few minutes, I want you to go inside, open up all of your water taps, get a nice steady flow of water going through them, get all the air out of the lines. Once the air is out of the lines, shut them off, and then you're all set. Now let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water. We're going to go dry camping or boondocking. In that case, come down here next to your hot water heater or your furnace flue to your freshwater tank. This is where you fill up your potable water. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply gravity fill it with a hose. Two ways to tell it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or two on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on this when filling it up. Once it's full, put your cap back on there. And then whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That is already pressurized. Alright, we're all ready to set camp. We've got our power and water hooked up. I'm going to walk you around the rest of the unit. Starting here on the off camp side with our front storage here. Flue for your furnace, two things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. Two, if you are running your furnace, steer clear of that. It does get hot. You can get a bug cover for those as well. Our fresh water Down here will be a freshwater drain. A vent for a microwave. Again, your city water connection, your power. You do have an outdoor shower, hot and cold shower. Tank flush. This is where we flush out our black tanks. We'll talk about that when we leave the campsite and dump our black and gray tanks, as well as our low point drain. Rear stabilizing jacks. Here where you're plugging your cable at the campsite. Spare tire with a cover. That cover is going to keep that from dry rotting. You're prepped for a backup camera. Device you can purchase from our store. One part sits on your dash, the other part attaches to this, giving you a backup camera for the unit. You got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. Here's our hot water heater. Turn that on by having that up. There's a fuse for that. Big storage over on this side. You're prepped for a TV here. There's a backer for a TV that can snap right onto this. 110 and cable over here. A couple of outdoor speakers. Your big awning. If you want to tell you on your awning, it has a pitch adjust. Pick the tables down there and it starts raining. You want all the rainwater to come this way. So you can pull down that and that will tilt your awning for an adjustable pitch. Up front, the other side of your pass-through storage, your propane does come with a cover and a regulator. Simply lefty-loosey to open and point it toward the tank you wish to be using. So it covers everything out here. So take a look on the inside. Coming up inside your unit, first thing I always like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Just up for that, you reach in, that'll be your lights, your awning light, and your interior lighting. Awning control here. On your awning, you only want to run these out until you can see your brown bar and that flap is down to 90 degrees. If you hold that down, that will continue to run itself out and start to run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you're running it out, and only run it out until that flap falls down or as far as you need it. You can stop this halfway, just get the shade you need. As I bring that back in, talk about a couple of USB ports right here. And then down on the side, behind your dinette, is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mentioned that's 12 volt, always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping or boondocking somewhere, nothing plugged in charging your battery. I didn't say battery disconnect on this, so disconnect one of your battery posts to keep this running your battery down while you're gone. Your dinette, your table will lift up off these feet. Set the table down on this lip here. Put your back cushions on top, and that'll give you another sleeping quarters. Storage underneath both dinette seats. Also in your kitchen, you're prepped for a TV here. There's a backer there. Here's your cable for that. You can tuck this away so it's not smacking the back of your head while you're trying to eat down here in your dinette. Above that, you prep for a TV, 12 volt and cable here, 110's over here. On your TV, this is a digital channel enhancer antenna. So when you arrive at the campsite, if you hook a TV up here, before you run your digital channel scan, make sure that light's on so you'll pick up more channels. Down below that, it's our sound system. IRV Technologies radio, AM, FM, Bluetooth auxiliary. Dual zone speakers.
Building fell before dawn on Sunday.
Shut it off in here. Hear it out there. Or shut them both off. If you touch mute, that will quiet it, and if you hold it in, that will shut it off. Well, over here to our thermostat. This thermostat here, crank the AC on. AC also has a quick dump, blast cold air down. Shut that off. Those generally shut off rather quickly. There we go. Let's go to heat, crank the furnace up. Alright, your furnace running. on the furnace. Shut that off. You'll notice it's going to take a couple of minutes for the furnace to cycle through before it actually shuts off. Speaker here, charging ports up here, one touch lighting on our bunks, storage under here, this bottom bunk, that'll access that outdoor storage area. Look, sink out here in the hallway, a little plumbing to maintain. Same thing in the kitchen. Keep an eye on your plumbing. It's supposed to be PEX nowadays. Just remember you're bouncing a house down the road and you want to make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. In your bathroom you have a hand open exhaust vent. Make sure that's down and secure for travel. Tub and shower. Also in the hallway here, your light and your hot water heater. That's where you'll turn that on and off at and set your temperature. Coming into the hallway here is your electric Furrion fridge. Coming all the way down is going to be your breaker box and fuses. Handful of 15s there, a couple 40s. Highly recommend putting some of those in your pocket before you travel. We've got a self-explanatory microwave. Start that. Now, it wasn't plugged in. One sure way to know whether or not you're plugged in is if your microwave works. Stop that. You got a light and a fan above your cooktop. This glass top makes an excellent backsplash. Just flip this up, turn on your panel light, turn this to light, hit your spark, and there's your flame. Same thing all the way. All three of these will do the same thing. Same thing with your oven. Now take that panel light and rock it down and it becomes an oven light. But same thing, turn this to light, which is the flame. Hit your spark down here, that will light your pilot light, and then just turn it to the desired temperature. Again, a sink. So plumbing to maintain. 110 with GFCI reset. Here's where you check your brand new battery. Fresh water button, that's the one you hold down when you're filling your potable or fresh water. Black and gray tanks. Here's where you turn on that water pump if you need to get some of that fresh water. Couple of 110s here. This will jackknife down. Set this here, or jackknife this down into a bed. I'll show you quickly. You can do that. Underneath here is also access to your furnace. Back into our bedroom, we do have a snap closed door. Make sure that that is snapped, excuse me, snap open door. Make sure that's snapped open for travel. In our bedroom, backer, 110 in cable. This is a template for solar. Leave that there in case you or a future owner decides to have this completely wired for solar. That is where the template is for that. The wiring is back behind there. Emergency exit window, rip this screen out. Lift this up and push this out. Also have storage under your bed. I think that about covers everything in here. We have a smoke alarm in the ceiling right here by the door. So let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. I like to start back here in my bedroom and shut off these lights. And then work my way out. If I shut off these lights here, I'll know any other light that's on in here is an accent light. So go through the unit, shut off all your lights. Make sure our doors are secure. Our vents are closed. I like to say doors and drawers. Just walk through the unit, make sure all the doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's gonna go bouncing away heading down the road. Shut off your lights and exit the unit. On these steps, whether opening or closing, make sure your exterior door is all the way open. Just a little tilt and this will catch on it. Your feet are also adjustable. Simply pulling out on these will bring this up and down. That will lock it in here. Before you leave the dump station, and I say that in case you want to go in here and check the levels of your tanks as you're dumping. Before you leave the dump station, lock and deadbolt, lift and turn that handle for travel. All right, if we are out boondocking, dry campers will come around here right underneath your freshwater tank. Will be your freshwater drain. Go ahead and drain that. Bring up your stabilizing jacks and head on to the, hook up your hitch and head on to the closest dump station or on home. If we're at a campsite, we're gonna unhook our power, our water, our cable, bring up our stabilizing jacks, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump's gonna be behind your rear tire and the rear of the trailer on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. Got 10-foot hose, comes with your convenience pack. Hook that up, and the first thing you're gonna pull is your black holding tank. That's gonna be the one on the right, your bigger, fatter one. Once that sounds like it's no longer draining, go inside the unit, look at your black tank, see if it shows empty or darn close to it. If it does, come back out here, leave that black handle open, grab the hose at the dump station, hook up to this tank flush valve. Again, emphasizing with that handle open. Turn on that tank flush and let that wash out your black tank. It's gonna get all that nastiness out of there. Let it run for a good 5 minutes. When that's done, remove that hose. Make sure all the washout water you just put in there has drained. When it has, close your black handle and pull your gray handle. Now normally when my gray handles are draining, I'll go ahead and dump both of my low point drains. When them are done and your gray is done, you'll conveniently close that up, take that sewage hose. Remember, your gray tanks, cleaner waters, your sinks and your showers. And then conveniently and sanitarily store your sewage hose right here in the bumper. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Jayflight for many years to come. Happy camping.